But all right then, Barbara, we will keep it moving, and then we'll go to the featherweight bout here, where we saw Calvin Kattar coming up short against Youssef Zalal. And yeah, it depends on kind of the perspective that you take looking at this fight. Like either you thought it was very good or it was very boring. So what side of the fence are you standing here, Barbara?
Um, it was very good, I guess, when you looking from a non-biased standpoint. It was a good performance. I am a Calvin Kattar fan, unfortunately, so I have to take my emotion away from it, and I can say like, you know what, great game plan buys along for like how to deal with Calvin Kattar, and especially like not going into much grappling exchanges, like not allowing Kattar to be that close to you. And then, yeah, if I'm looking at from a bias standpoint, it's just frustrating, bro. Like, like you didn't wanna eat anything. Zalal didn't want to stand in the fire. You didn't want to taste that chin of his. And yeah, I think Keita was. It's just a frustrating fight for him as well as like if you're a fan of him, you're like like, but uh, yeah, it's just unfortunate, man. But yeah, I guess like from a Zalal point of view, amazing performance. Had a good game plan, had a good way to path to victory. Just keeping the jab going, keep moving. Never being a standing target, allowing Keita to chase you around the octagon. I think only in the third, Calvin really started coming on, but he really needed to, like, in the second already, he had to empty the tank and just like blitz him as quick as possible, keep him like in a corner, trap him, cut off, like all ways out. But yeah, Zalal was just too good on the night, footwork wise and movement wise.
Absolutely agree there, Babu. And yeah, I'm glad you highlighted the game plan also there because that's exactly what it was. I think Salal kind of knew where he had the advantage in speed. So he used that to his advantage. He stayed mobile, like you said, was never a standing target and just worked behind that jab very well. Because yeah, but I think if you're going to stand in the pocket with Calvin Keita, you're likely going to lose. I mean, I think only the elite of the division, the likes of Max Holloway, Ilya Topuria, those guys can really afford to do that against someone like Calvin Keita. So, I mean, fair play to him, but he executed his game plan perfectly. And then, yeah, like you said, Calvin Keita did come on third round. I mentioned to you guys this morning, like excellent cornering by Ferrasa. I'll be showing why he's one of the best in the game. Telling Calvin Keita basically you need to throw 300 punches in this round. I need you to start throwing 5-punch combos. Just get active. But like he didn't only say to him, "I need more output. I need you to get active." He said to him, "Check your 300 punches, 5-punch combos at a time." You know what I mean? And I thought that was excellent cornering, and it seemed like if it was a 5-round fight, it would have been very interesting going into those championship rounds. So yeah, I think a very good example of how important cornering can be, and why some of these guys are paid big bucks to be the best in the game. So yeah, again, a great performance by Zalal, taking nothing away from him. From my perspective, I felt it was pretty boring. I was out for blood this morning, waking up early, so I wanted to see some knockouts. I was really hyped when I saw Calvin Keita walking out the house to the Rising Sun. That's one of my favorite songs. So I was super hyped. I almost placed a bet on Calvin Keita by knockout, but I had to calm myself down. So yeah, again, fair play to Zalal. So they are, of course, in the featherweight division, Babu. Any idea what you'd like to see next from these two guys? Speaking with Zalal.
Um, I think Calvin Keita, he probably gets another um fighter, but like below him, so that he can solidify his place in the top 15. As far as Zalal, I mean, he's now in a 7-fight win streak. You have to give him somebody that's like elite in that division. I see Edson Barbosa sitting at number 15. I'm not sure if he's still active or.
I think Edson has a fight coming up at the next, either the next, but he has a fight. He does have a fight, Edson, coming up. I saw. It's a very interesting fight also, I remember.
Okay. Do you know if 50K has a fight? Because I would like to see like probably Giga, Ige, or Barbosa. That's who I would like to see against Zalal.
Nah, I don't know about Danish. I think that might be a liquor fight for him, yeah.
Oh yeah. Because I think like in this fight, like I saw Zalal stick and move a lot. It's and Kattar could landed like some offense on him, but 50K, like there's a reason for that nickname. Once he touches you, it could be night night, and let's see if you can really keep up that movement. I would like to see at least a fight night, main card fight. Like let's check if you can last the 5 rounds with like a ranked opponent. As far as Kattar, I think you just sit now. Hopefully get somebody that comes off a loss in your maybe you can get Sterling or Emmett if they come off a loss and then like just solidify your place. I wouldn't say like take a unranked opponent again because then you're just gonna get kicked out of the top 15 if you lose, and the man above you is gonna take your spot. And looking at that top 10, like it is kind of hard to break in there because everybody is not as active as we would like them to be.
Yeah, I mean, he did call out Brian Ortega, I think at the end of the fight. And I kind of like, I don't mind that, you know what I mean? He beat Calvin Kattar now. Calvin Kattar's at 10. I think by that logic, that earns him a top 10 opponent. So I don't mind the Brian Ortega fight, to be honest. Aljamain Sterling, I think he won't cope, bro. I think Alger's going to be too much for him. Alger's going to take him down and just lay on him, backpack him, you know, Alger does. So maybe even the Josh Emmett fight be interesting to see if Josh Emmett could close the distance, get inside, and maybe knock him out. You know, Josh Emmett's got that tang on him. He can put any time. So, I mean, there are quite a few fights up there. It's difficult for me to say because I wasn't really impressed. I'm not to say I wasn't impressed, but I wasn't entertained.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was exactly what he needed to do. So I can't really fault him for that. But would have liked if it was more entertaining because he did come into this fight with 3 finishes in a row. So unfortunately breaking his streak here. So yeah, overall a good fight. But Babu, any final thoughts here?
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't give him like top 5 or top 10 is just because like it didn't seem like he could last like 5 rounds. That's the only reason. I would first want to see what he does in a 5-round fight and if he gets a job done before feeding him something like higher.